Just 2.5 hours from Memphis in the small town of Union City, Tennessee, there's a place that feels like it shouldn't exist, but it does. A place where you can stand next to a T-Rex, you can walk through a recreated 19th century town, you can explore Native American history, you can go up into a 100-foot observation tower and then take a giant multi-story slide back to the ground floor, all in just one day. And no, friends, this isn't Disney, this isn't the Smithsonian or Six Flags. This is Discovery Park of America, maybe one of the best kept secrets in our region. And today we're going to talk with the man who's leading it and who's helping grow this hidden treasure in West Tennessee into one of the most inspirational and educational destinations in America. And if you think you know West Tennessee, well, think again. This place will blow your mind. All right, friends, thank you for joining me on this episode of The Current Temp. And today we're going to check the temp on amazing places to visit. Thank you, first of all, to Lexus of Memphis, who we are so honored to be partnering with. Amazing people and product, top tier. Just I cannot say enough great things. And so you know how I feel about that. And thank you to my friend and guest who has been here with us before, Mr. Scott Williams, the president and CEO of Discovery Park of America that we just talked about. Now, Scott, people that have watched us here before have heard me brag on you, but I need to set the stage. You have had decades of experience with public attractions. Decades. Scott has helped run and manage and be a creative influence over Graceland, which is where we met 20 plus years ago, at the museum, which was an amazing institution in downtown Washington, D.C., and was world-renowned, just an incredible place to visit. And now Discovery Park of America. And if you're not familiar with Discovery Park of America, you need to be. It's over 100,000 square feet of wonder with, I think, 50 additional acres. Events, live music. We're going to hear more about that in just a second. But let's start with this, because, Scott, before we get into Discovery Park,
okay,
I want to get the most out of your brain while it's here.
Okay.
All of these years spent in attractions and public institutions. And listen, I don't hand out a lot of praise. The man is a genius when it comes to this. I've learned so much over the years from just watching what he does.
Wow. Thank you.
You didn't expect that.
Thank you.
All these years dealing with the public, from Graceland to the museum to Discovery Park and all those things in between.
Okay.
What are people drawn to? And by the way, I'm going to talk for a minute and give him a second because he didn't even know I was going to ask that question. That's a heavy...
No, I've got a good answer to that.
What are they drawn to?
I think people are looking for authenticity. They're looking for authentic experiences, whether that's going to an art museum where they can actually study the art of the masters, or whether they go to a museum like Discovery Park that covers a variety of different topics. They're looking for authenticity, and that's easy for them to sniff out when it's not. You've been places where you thought it was going to be one thing, and you get there and they're like, I don't know. They're all hat and no cattle. So that's what people are drawn to.
Okay. By the way, Scott is on this podcast. You have a podcast of your own?
We do. Oh, look at that. Real Foot Forward, a West Tennessee podcast.
What do you cover on yours?
So Discovery Park of America, as you know, is a place where people come to be inspired to see beyond. So that's what our podcast does. We talk to people who are doing cool and interesting things, whether they have opened a store or they have taken a hobby and turned it into a business, or they're doing great community service that are changing lives. We talk to them and just find out more about what inspired them, what makes them tick, what makes them do what they do. And it's honestly been the biggest blessing. I look forward, Zach is my co-host, and I really honestly look forward to recording these. Oftentimes, the two things I look for are the moment that I forget that I'm on a podcast, and the moment where somebody says to me, "That's a really good question." I like that. That makes my heart glow.
By the way, I have just downloaded your recent episode with Peter Guralnick, Elvis biographer, who just wrote the Elvis and the Colonel, which I just listened to and was fantastic. So check out Scott's podcast.
Can I just tell you one thing about that?
Hit me, yeah.
He was such so gracious. What a sweet guy. Just so kind and nice. And we talked all about Elvis, and then we talked a little bit after the podcast. He emailed me later and said he had gone back and found our original emails from when I emailed him when I was at Graceland.
How long ago was that?
I mean, it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
he's been around a minute.
So he's had his emails account for, I was shocked.
You've got mail.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I've got a slide up right here. It's one of my favorite shots of Discovery Park, one of many from inside.
That's my go-to as well.
This is a lovely one. This is kind of showing the scope of the size, and this is just a small part of it. But you've got the T-Rex, you've got the different layers. You said it a minute ago. DPA's mission with Discovery Park of America, I call it DPA, to inspire children and adults to see beyond. So if you're watching this, I'm going to show you a couple of awesome slides here. You could see in the background here, and I've kind of superimposed the slide. This is what is the name of this slide?
Well, you know what? I mean, we weren't very creative, but we call it the Giant Man Slide.
Well, that's very descriptive.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It's a giant man slide. And people go up on one level, and you can come, I've done this, you can come flying down this thing. And then if you're up on one of the levels, now you're looking at it the other way. You can see part of the huge campus behind it. And man, there's so much there to do. Mention a few things on the outside of the campus, because you've had you do it, because every time I'm there, I'm amazed at what's on the campus.
Sure, what's on the 50-acre heritage
I'm talking
park.
about not even inside the museum.
Yeah, outside.
Yeah.
You know, so we're 50 acres, and it is, you know, it's. I think it's important when we talk about what we have and what's there that we always pay tribute to Robert Kirkland, whose vision at first was, who put an ad in the paper and said, I'm going to build a center of education. He hated the word museum because he felt like that was stuffy and boring and not fun. And he was all about fun. And so he said, I'm going to build a center of education. If you want to join me, meet me at the library in Obion County at this time on this date. 250 community members came out that night. And he had divided the library up into tables. He had science, technology, history, transportation, NASA, you know, anything he could think of, he made a table. And he said, go to the table that you're the most interested in that topic. And they did. He said, you're the committees. Come back to me in a month and tell me what should go in a center of education with 50 acres on this topic. And then he had assembled a group of museum professionals, designers, architects, educators, and he said, build this. He spent $100 million to build it. And the 50 acres on one side, first of all, there's two big lakes that are connected by a stream. During COVID, we were trying to think of things people could do outside. And so we started suggesting people could fish, because you could be apart from each other. And people catch, you wouldn't believe how huge the fish are that people catch. Huge fish.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that are members just because they can get free, you know, they can come in every day and sit there. I mean, where else can you fish and then go to the restroom, have a cafe right there, you know? It's
an astounding piece of, listen, let me reiterate what Scott just said. The Kirkland family that's from Obion County, from West Tennessee, took $100 million. And you may, listen, most of us know Reelfoot Lake. It's in that area. And if you drive through there, it's like flat farmland and everything's quiet. And all of a sudden, boom, almost in the middle of nowhere, you've got this futuristic space with a spire that goes 100 feet in the air and has these things inside. By the way, this picture you're looking at now, they turn it into an event center often to have award shows, which I've been fortunate enough to take part in. It's just an amazing thing to be involved in. But I'm going to bounce back and forth between Discovery Park and your work over the years.
Okay.
You have been a part from your different institutions, things that I've been a part of with you from. You created the Elvis cruise and to the Bahamas. You took Elvis's team, which you weren't able to attend because you changed jobs, to Hawaii to recreate the Hawaiian special. When you were at the museum, you had Will Ferrell there to promote Anchorman 2 and did a Q&A that was huge and widely attended by all the dignitaries in D.C. And now you've got Discovery Park with year-round events. Where do these ideas come from?
Now, I am just a cog in the wheel. So I have teams.
I get it.
I have such talented people that I've been privileged to work with.
Okay.
At all three of those places that you were saying, and as you were talking about those things, you know how the human brain works. I was picturing those things, and for me, when I picture those things, I picture the people
Okay.
At each one of those places, you're very familiar with all of the team,
Yeah.
that did the Elvis, all that, So the answer is it really comes from the creativity and the minds and the enthusiasm of groups of people. I personally, because I'm not super smart like you are,
Whatever.
Mr.
Yeah,
Brilliant,
that's not
I like to work with much smarter people than me and give them the freedom to, brainstorm and at Discovery Park, I look at Excel spreadsheets all day and make sure the numbers add up. Actually, somebody else even does that. Deb does that. Everybody, just loves their jobs at Discovery Park, and everybody brainstorms. Everybody loves the moment. Everybody has a moment. Let me tell you my moment. This happened a couple weeks ago at my church in Northwest Tennessee, and I was going to the bathroom, and I was listening to a little kid in the stall next to me, and the little kid was explaining to his dad how tornadoes work and what happens when the water goes around, because he saw it in the toilet, and his dad was really impressed. This kid was probably 4, and the dad goes, "Where did you learn that?" And he said, "Discovery Park of America."
How about that?
And so I was like, wow, you don't oftentimes, get validated in the bathroom at your church.
No, it really doesn't happen. You don't get a lot of validation there. So how do you listen? And I think you do a great job of assembling talent, and you have people around you over these many years that have done amazing work. How do you free them to do that? Because I've seen you and your teams put on some incredible displays, and I just went through one at Discovery Park about the human body, and you've got all these things over the years. And we're about to get into some of the really cool stuff coming your way. And I'm going to tell you how to get to Discovery Park. Super close to Memphis, hidden gem. We want to make it a known gem. How do you get people, and this is more meta, how do you unleash people?
So, humbly, I think the most important thing that a leader can do is to make sure everybody's super clear on our mission and what is it that we're trying to accomplish. And then, I pay attention to the measurement tools, how we doing, where do we need to adjust? Yeah, the metrics are really important for me, and to share that with everybody. And then, obviously communication. We have a big, every week, the leadership team at Discovery Park and a lot of their assistants, we get together every Tuesday, and we hash through what has just happened, mistake. Every single time we usually have an error that happened, a mistake that happened, a guest who wasn't 100% satisfied, and then we talk about, okay, here's what's coming up. And oftentimes it's not me, I just introduce the problem, and then the team solves it. So it's what's interesting is there's a certain type of person that gravitates to that kind of thing. And then there's other people that automatically on their own sort of spin out, And so we just are very blessed that we have just the greatest team ever at Discovery Park that puts all these ideas together, all these things that we're talking about. It comes out of the mind of the group, the Borg.
Okay. I'm about to blow everybody's minds with what we're going to show you. So I hope you've stuck with us, because this is the cool part. First, I'm going to start with this. We're going to start with this year.
Do not miss.
Do not miss.
Do not.
Let it glow. Okay? Now listen. The little kid in me wanted to start with this because we've seen it a few times, and it's astounding. This is a drive-through or walk-through event, whichever is more comfortable for you. How many lights do you put up?
More than 2 million.
More than 2 million lights.
They've been putting up lights since June.
Now listen, did you hear what he said? So let me again set the stage, and I'm going to show you some pictures. And for the first time ever, you're going to see video on this screen. I've never done it, so hopefully it's going to work, that I took last year. You drive up to Discovery Park, and it's this enormous, beautiful, beautiful campus that just invites you to go down the trails and paths and see different things with open skies, and then the beautiful museum. You can go into the museum, or you can take part in the outside landscape, which is where they do these lights. Now, when we get to November 14th through December 30th, okay, November 14th, you can start going to this. These are some photos that I took from last year. And this is part of what's there normally, that you can go in and see exhibits or displays, or sometimes you have crafts for sale or music. But I want to flip through just a few pictures I took because it was so remarkable. Now, this was another building. Now, when I say millions of lights spread over this campus, now this, I think, let's see, is this the video? No, this is another picture. Or is it? Oh, it's the video. Here's one of two. Look, it's working, honey. Look at this. I just decided to spin in one place, and this is just one part of the lit up area. I mean, you're going to see another part in a minute. My wife and I had hot chocolate. I believe that's my beautiful wife, Lisa, there on the left. She didn't want to be videoed.
Who's also your
producer.
Producer, since you said honey.
There, on the left, you can see there's the museum with the spire.
There you go.
Okay. I'm just trying to give you a vantage point from here. Okay. Now, here's another one. This is walking into the gardens. Look at this video working for me. I'm doing a fantastic job. And by the way, there were kids running through here. The weather was really good. You've got water, then you've got lights in the shape of water. Everywhere you turn, it was just amazing. And listen, if you've got a little kid who loves Christmas or lights, imagine walking through here at night. You've got the music playing. We got folks just walking through. It wasn't ridiculously crowded. I have a feeling it's going to be after the huge success of this podcast.
Oh, no question.
Right? But, okay, so that's Let It Glow. November 14th through December 30th, 5 to 9 p.m.
And you would think that they were busy on the weekends, but Mr. and Ms. Santa Claus have actually selected us to be at every Friday and Saturday night.
They're going to be at Discovery Park.
They're at Discovery Park. Free photos if you're looking for and you can come and then come from Memphis and then drive back home, or we have 3 brand new hotels right next door.
You've got 3 brand new hotels. And an elf told me you also have a dog night this year.
Dogs are free. I mean, dogs are $5 like kids. Kids are $5. Dogs are $5.
Okay, so you can have a dog night.
Any night, dogs can come.
All right.
Dogs are welcome, because we found out that a lot of people wanted to bring their dogs. So we don't typically allow that, but, it's in the spirit of Christmas.
Right next to this, I mean, within walking distance, you could carry your tired youngster or some of those new hotels.
Or your dog.
Or your dog. You could or have your dog carry you. You could stay there after doing this. So now we get to the fun part. We're going to talk about some of the things coming up in 2026. And I had so much, I had to write it down. So there's so many things to talk about. We're going to just run through a few. And if you find one you want to talk about.
Okay.
In February, so now we're coming up at the end of the year. It's almost here. Holidays. You want to go to, you're saying, where do we go see some great lights and have a great experience? Go up to Discovery Park. I'm going to show you a map in just a minute. 2+ hours to get there. Completely doable. In February, you get a bridal show. The brides would love that. Then you got a plant sale that's for members.
Members only.
But you can join.
That's right.
Then a military expo. This is
April.
Just a few of the things. In fact.
Oh, yeah. April 17th and 18th.
There's like a million things on this sheet. In May, tell me about the cardboard boat regatta. I've seen pictures.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite events. We have about 20 different teams competing. It can be a business. It can be a STEAM group from school. It can be a science class.
You build your own boat.
You have to build a boat out of cardboard and tape and race it. And there are lots of different awards. There's the Titanic Award, which you can imagine what that's for. But it is truly one of the most fun events that we have.
What happened to you? Something happened to you the last time. You told me the story about your boat. You had like something in the back, smoke. Do you remember this?
I don't.
Okay.
Well, maybe I lied.
You told me something about how quickly it sank. No, you told me you thought it was going to be good. And the
I don't usually get out there, but someone did get me out in one.
Maybe
and it did sink. Yeah,
okay,
in the middle of the water. We do have a lifeguard on the
so it's in one of the lakes on the grounds. Everything's safe and taken care of. You've got a antique tractor show because, again, agriculture is a big part of what you do. I know you've partnered with UT Martin and other places and Ducks Unlimited. Tell me about the antique tractor show.
Yeah, so, we have an exhibit on innovation in agriculture, which talks all about the future. But what a fun way to also appreciate the past is with the antique tractor show. I mean, there are a lot of antique tractor collectors. And
right.
So we'll have 200 or 300 tractors out there, and they're a lot of times works of art.
They're cool to see.
Really beautiful.
I've seen some you've had in the...
And then we have a parade where they line up and they go
drive around.
Yeah.
Let me run through a few of these, and then we're going to hit on America 250. In September, you've got the Native American celebration. Huge hit. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so sometimes we have a powwow, and sometimes we just make it a cultural celebration where the Native Americans come. We have about 75 Native Americans come from the area, and they demonstrate their clothing, their dancing.
Drum circles.
They do drum. We have 2 drum circles this year. We had vendors who were selling Native American merchandise. So it is Native American made merchandise, nothing like, from China.
This
or
is the
anything
real
like
stuff
It's
they
the
made.
real thing, and food, and it's just a really great. Again, there's a whole group of people that this is what they live for. Every year they come to this. It is so
The pictures were amazing.
popular.
Yeah, the pictures were amazing. In October, you've got the Discovery Dash 5 and 10K, which sounds awesome. Then you've got the David Crockett Heritage Festival,
which we just got finished having this year.
Okay, how did that go?
It was incredible. We had vendors who both hand make things, but then we also had people who were demonstrating how to make tea, how they made tea,
How they did it.
how the settlers. All this is about how the settlers lived, how these people that settled in West Tennessee and across the state and in Kentucky and in our region, how they lived, how they made their utensils, how they hunted, what did they hunt for. The goal is that when you visit this event, when you leave, you want to find out more. You want to buy books about it. We had a lot of bluegrass and heritage music throughout the week. So it was really just a great event. Again, tons of people sent emails thanking us for having it, that they really loved it.
Anytime somebody says, or I hear somebody say, there's nothing to do here, what are we going to do?
They can come to Discovery Park.
Discovery Park, roughly 2 hours from Memphis. And listen, I am a big fan of the interactive. And the whole thing is interactive. You've got reenactments happening. You've got exhibits happening. You've got people that are showing you how to make things happening. I'm going to run through just a few more. In 2026, you got a Lego summer camp.
Well, we all Legos are a big deal.
Yeah.
Of course, that I built a Lego steamboat.
I do know
sent
that.
You
Yes.
sent you a
It was
text.
very impressive.
Thank you very much. That was fun for me. But you talk about the hands and the touching and everything. That really all goes back to Robert Kirkland. He put signs up that said, "Please walk on our grass." He did not want anything behind glass. A lot of the artifacts that we have are things that you could reach out and touch if you wanted
Hands-on.
to. He was very, very much making sure that you could interact, touch, feel, smell, hear. So all five senses have to be engaged for people to truly learn and have a positive, inspirational experience.
And that's what kids want anyway.
Right.
I think the last time I was there, you had a piano you could play on the ground. You could, anyway, lots of fun stuff. Astronomy night, which sounds amazing. We've got a kid who I was thinking about might enjoy that. Art education classes coming up.
All of that. And, we are partners with a lot of the professors at the University of Tennessee at Martin, which is only about 20 minutes from us. And so they come over, the astronomy group, the, ag, any area you can think of, they come over and use us as sort of a place where they can practice what they preach in the classroom, and they can show visitors, look through this telescope, people who maybe have never done that before.
Yeah.
So people learn how to make arts and crafts of all kinds. We have painting classes. We have a very close relationship with our theater in town. A lot of actors, a lot of acting going on there at Discovery Park from the Masquerade Theater, which is currently being completely redone. In Union City. So just a lot of appreciation of the arts. We have a Southern Artist Showcase where every year we have 2 different exhibits of artists that maybe have never even displayed before.
Yeah.
So,
Listen, friends, I'm a big fan of taking the kids out to do things, getting them away from the electronics, getting them away from their iPhones and iPads. This is such an amazing thing. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to wrap up with us breaking down the very last thing here, which is going to be a big deal next year. America 250.
Right.
We've got a lot of where'd my paper go? Have you got the list of all the things we're celebrating next year?
I don't, but it's somewhere here. But
Lisa, the town mania.
It's
my lovely assistant Lisa is going to hand me.
Very nice. I'll let you run through the list there.
Time to coincide major milestones, including the 230th anniversary of Marcus Winchester's birth, who we talked to Scott in an earlier episode about how Marcus Winchester helped build and found Memphis, Tennessee. We've got the 230th anniversary of Tennessee's statehood on June 1st, the bicentennial of Memphis's incorporation on December 19th, and Nation America's 250 celebration. And you have been talking and fielding calls. You guys in Discovery Park are kind of going to be at the epicenter. Everybody now is trying to get on board for this celebration.
Right. Well, and we are fortunate that we have a history of events, and we have a lot of events already planned that do just that focus on different aspects of our nation's history all the way back. But the biggest one is, of course, going to be July 3rd and 4th. We're going to have special pricing, $10 a person. We're going to be open till 7 p.m. We're going to, on Friday night, you've been to Rhythm on the Rails before, where we have a music festival where every Friday night in May and June we have live music at our stage. Well, we're going to carry it on over one more week, and we're going to have Mo Pitney, who's a really incredible country music star, who's going to come and perform for that last Rhythm on the Rails. And we'll have, people in, they call them living historians. They dress up in the clothes.
Right.
A lot of both educational but also entertainment things will be going on throughout the park.
Listen, friends, if you are looking for something fun to do, you can do a day trip. I've got a map here on the screen, okay? There's Memphis on the bottom left. If you drive up...
That's like 10 minutes.
It's like I could do that in like 8 seconds. It's roughly a 2 hour and 15-minute drive. You go early on a day, you can come back that night, or you can stay at one of the brand new hotels that's right next to Discovery Park. I don't do a lot of promos like this, but it's a win-win for everybody. I know what kind of work you guys are putting out there, you and your team. I get up there quite often and love it. And so many people I talk to from Memphis go, I didn't know about that. Kind of like Memphians who've never been to Graceland.
Right. There's a lot of those.
There's a lot of those.
As we both know.
And we've got a lot of folks in Memphis who go, I didn't know Discovery Park was up in Union City, Tennessee, two hours away. And by the way, you pass several fantastic barbecue restaurants on the way back.
I was just going to say that if you go through Brownsville, you can stop there at the Delta Heritage Center at exit 56.
Okay.
That's the way I go.
That's how you
come and go. Yeah, I go up through Brownsville, and they've got the new Tina Turner statue. They've got the Tina Turner exhibit.
Yeah.
They've got the Sleepy John Estes exhibit. That's a really great rest stop. They've got great restrooms. And so, that's what I suggest is that people stop there, get their fill of that, and then carry on. And it's only about an hour and 10 minutes from there to Union City.
All right, here's something he didn't know I was going to ask, and then we're going to wrap this up.
Okay.
This guy has been around the country, loves West Tennessee, Memphis up to Obion County. He's from here, has hung out with the queen herself, Dolly Parton. Tell us about Dolly Parton.
Through the Elvis connection, there was going to be a commercial that Dolly and Elvis were going to be in. Elvis, of course, it was a video of him, and she was in living color.
Right.
And so, it was kind of tense as we waited for the queen herself to come. Everybody was nervous. No one, all the camera people. I'm just the guy in the back of the room, quiet.
You've always stayed out of the way.
I stay out of the way.
Yeah, you really do.
They don't have to worry about me. And so, everybody was nervous. And I've been in a few of these things where really the talent is what sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Right.
And so, the doors threw open. They're like, Dolly in 5 minutes. Dolly in 1 minute. Everybody's counting down. Everybody's inhaled.
Like a spaceship.
We are nervous. And then the doors, I don't know if it was intentional, but the doors flew open. And here comes Dolly Parton out, and she's wearing a full Elvis jumpsuit from head to toe. And everybody looks at her, and she goes, thank you very much. And everybody burst out into laughter. And from then on, it was just a great shoot. Really appreciated her attitude and got to spend a little time talking to her.
Tell me about that. How was she? Because everybody wants to know, how are they really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was, doing her. She did a few shots, and then she said, "Where's Scott?" And so I was real quiet, because I was like, surely she doesn't mean me, And so, where's Scott? And so I was like, oh, here.
Over here,
ma'am. And so she's, get over here, honey. Let's talk about Elvis. And so she told me the, Elvis story that, she's told, many times about wanting to record one of Elvis's songs. But Colonel Parker said, if you record it, Elvis gets 50% of the proceeds, the profits, and all that kind of stuff. But Dolly's like, no way. If I record it, it's going to be mine. And it was "I Will Always Love You." And so she said, "Honey, I cried and cried, and then Whitney Houston sang it and made me rich, and I cried all the way to the bank." That's what she said. So she was delightful, as you would expect.
You know what? I'm having an idea. At least, what do you think? We could do another show, and I could just get Scott to talk about the Dollys and the Will Ferrells and all the people he's met. Wouldn't that be an interesting show?
It would be fantastic.
It would be all positive stuff.
Yeah, we don't do negative.
I've had all positive. I really have had all positive experiences from those folks who are, for 9 times out of 10, just professional folks, want to do a job just like I'm trying to do, and we just working together a lot of times to entertain people, inspire people, provide a great experience for people, and we're all on the same team most of the time.
Here's a teaser for the next time I have Scott on, because I've just decided with this memory we're going to when the actor comedian who plays Borat tried to trick you at the museum. He came in costume trying to get Scott and video him with his team, and Scott sniffed it out. But we're going to save that for the next time Scott's here, because I think that would be a great episode. All right, Scott Williams, Discovery Park of America president and CEO, huge supporter of West Tennessee. He knows all the stars, and he has got a great team and display, and a phenomenal inspiration station up in it's not a museum. What did you say, Kirkland? Mr. Kirkland called it?
He called it a center of education.
A center of education whose mission is to inspire and educate up at Discovery Park. Thrilled to have you here. Hey, folks, again, thanks to Lexus of Memphis. We love you guys. We're so glad you're a part of what we do. And remember, we love hearing from you. Your ideas, your thoughts, your comments. Email us. We reread the emails. thecurrenttemp@gmail.com. Subscribe at YouTube to The Current Temp. You can follow me on my Facebook page. A lot of you guys watch the videos and do that here. Or you can listen on Spotify. Scott Williams, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you guys for being here too.